Welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am your co-host, Jason JB Smoke, and I have with me here.
Duran, still no cool nickname, but
We're going to get one.
we're going to get one.
We're going to get one. I've actually thought of a few I need to run by you.
I don't really care about the nickname. It's just cool for me to still say it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, people giving you smack about it already, though,
Yeah,
right?
they are.
We're only,
It's all good,
we're only 3 episodes in, and,
I know.
people are...
Welcome to episode 4, though. Welcome to episode 4.
Welcome to episode 4. So today, we're going to be trying the Espinosa Crema. This is one of their lighter blends.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing wrong with the lighter blend.
No.
But you know a little bit more about this thing than I do.
Not a whole lot. Like I said, we were chatting, and if I remember correctly, this is a Nicaraguan cigar. It has a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. So that's about the extent that I know about it. Again, I normally smoke cigars that are much heavier, but
Same
this
here.
one is very flavorful for what it is.
Yes.
So it is one of the ones that I really enjoy. And I actually, when I first started going to our local cigar lounge, this was one of the first ones that I picked up to try out that I had never had before. So
Okay, I didn't know that.
It reminds me a lot of the Damaso.
I was going to ask you.
But with
does it
a cheaper price point.
Right.
So that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah, and one thing I do know, this line has several cigars with it. The first one that I had was and I may pronounce it wrong, but the Laranja.
Okay.
And that one has an orange label to it. And they've since released, I think, an Oscuro and an Abuela or something. I may have to look that one up and
man.
correct it on the screen here. But it's like an orange band. I mean, a blue band and a silver band, maybe black band. I can't remember, but they're not orange. But this one had a nice little ribbon on the end on the foot to help you identify it, which I think is really cool. I like it when they do that extra little touch.
Again, I love the Espinosa bands, right? They're very beautiful to look at. I love the color profile on this one as well. So I know a lot of people don't really pay a lot of attention to the band, but for me, it's one of the things I enjoy about a cigar is how articulate they make some of these bands. So
yeah,
this
sometimes
is one of those ones that's very nice.
Sometimes they spend a lot of time on these bands.
The details is nice, and Espinosa is a phenomenal brand, right? So
really
again, I don't have a lot of experience with their specific cigars, but I know a lot of people that smoke them, and if I'm not mistaken, our local cigar lounge, their house blend is made by Espinosa, is it not?
Yes, it is.
So
that is correct.
So that's the Chabu.
It's the only thing they'll tell us about it.
Yeah, that's the only thing we know.
Everything else is a mystery, right?
Again, if they told us, it wouldn't be their house blend anymore, right?
I guess, yeah. So there's a little mystery there, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
So we'll get lit here in a second. But as far as our bourbons, you actually had a pretty good idea that with the recent release of the Founders 11-year bottle, that we would go ahead and showcase both the 10 and the 11-year.
Right. So again, they're not necessarily bourbons; they're blended whiskeys.
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct.
So the Founders was their 10-year anniversary bottle, and now they have come out with the 11-year anniversary bottle.
Yes.
Both are very good, but the 11 to me just really stands out as being completely like outer worldly good.
Yeah, it's really good. And if any of you were able to go to the Founders event at the event hall, you got a really neat experience where you got to taste the 3 different components individually, unaltered, and that was quite an experience. Like that made it pretty much worth it in my book.
Yeah.
So and you got the bottle, the signed bottle. So that was cool.
So if you haven't been, make sure to tour Chattanooga Whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. It's a great tour. It's right here local. The beauty of Chattanooga Whiskey is it's homegrown, right? Like
that's right.
It had been quite some years since Tennessee had like a new manufacturer sprout up, and Chattanooga Whiskey has grabbed the mantle for that now and has taken it quite far. They started out bottling MGP.
That's right.
And
there's MGB in this.
Yeah. But I believe now they are now doing some of their own in-house and bottling that and putting it out for the masses. Is that correct?
Yeah, and so like their 92 and their 111, that's completely theirs.
Okay.
And something unique about this one, the 11 year, is that 25% of the bottle comes from they called it a barrel, but it's like a 1900 gallon vat. So if
Okay.
you want to call that a barrel, fine. But that's so. But they took 15 different mash builds of whiskeys
Okay.
and poured them into this vat. Let them marry, and what comes out is 25% of that bottle.
Nice. Nice. So again, I know we're gonna enjoy this,
Yeah,
but hopefully, and
yeah,
again, these bottles, the 10, I would think you'd be hard pressed to find one
yeah,
now,
yeah.
but the 11 is available
Hmm.
in some places. So if you're interested, I suggest that you get out and get
Yeah,
it pretty soon. Otherwise, you won't be able to find it.
yeah. I think they said friend of ours that came with us, Ray, he was able to talk to the owner of Chattanooga Whiskey, which
Mm,
that's really cool that we have people in our group that can talk to folks like that.
yeah.
But if I recall correctly, he said that they were able to do 1,900 cases.
Okay.
So
Which is much more than they did last year.
I don't remember what they did last year,
I'm pretty
to
positive it
be
was a
totally
much smaller
honest.
number than that,
Yeah,
but
I don't remember.
okay.
And I certainly don't remember the blend of the 10
No,
year.
not at all. Not at all.
But
But
I do
maybe we'll
remember us
do some
loving it.
research and
Yeah, I'll have to
throw
try
it
to go
in.
find something on that one. But let's go ahead and light up, man.
Well, I'm going to wait on you because
Oh, you need
today
to.
I am looking like a real rookie without a lighter with lighter fluid in it. So that's what happens with busy life. But we wanted to make sure we got some episodes recorded for you and was able to give you some new content to check out. So
There you go. Actually, just filled that.
awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, right immediately, it's a lot of flavor. Not a whole lot of strength, which is kind of what I expected, right? Great smoke production, though. One of the things I love about the cigar, great draw.
Absolutely.
I mean, Espinosa and their draw, like for me, we've talked about this before that like smoke production is probably number one, but a close number two for me is that draw.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have to fight
No,
the
no.
cigar.
Um,
You know,
that kills the whole reason why I smoke
like
a cigar.
you're smoking for an hour and a half, and like you're gonna fight it the whole time, and
Yeah.
that's just not enjoyable.
I was having a
Like
conversation
it
with
should
my
be
wife
effortless.
the other day, and I was telling her like the whole purpose of me smoking a cigar is to relax, right? Like it's that hour and a
Thank you.
half to an hour that I get
Yes.
of like just pure enjoyment for something, that just makes it so much better, right?
Hmm.
Um, Steve Harvey said something really cool too. He was like, I work all day, my wife works all day. He said you need those little breaks in life, and for me, that's a cigar. So
Yep.
that's exactly it.
And I told you when you got here, that the last several days have been just busy. It's been
Yeah,
nonstop.
yeah,
For one reason or another, and so this is really nice to just be able to sit down and enjoy a smoke and a drink with you. So I'm going to start
absolutely.
with the 10 year,
Okay.
and I have personally held on to this bottle for a year, and it has been unopened for a year. So we just opened it
We did that the other night.
last Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's freshly opened,
Mm-hmm.
so it hasn't been sitting there for, whatever, a year.
Okay.
And this is my last bottle. So not a big deal, but
So don't do a four finger pour.
I mean, you know, listen, you said, I think it was last episode, you said I was making you look bad because, here I am taking my time and, you're
I'm
drinking
knocking
it,
them
but
back.
yeah, you're knocking them back. So if it takes a four finger pour to do it,
Might be staying with you tonight.
but we like to touch on this on every episode. Yes, this is a cigar and bourbon podcast, but
Mm-hmm.
we ask that everyone enjoy responsibly.
Absolutely.
He obviously did not do a four finger pour. He's looking to drive when we're done here, but yeah, just drink plenty of water. Be responsible. So, tell me what your thoughts are?
I mean, it's very good, right? Again, it's one of those that I haven't had it in quite some time. So the other night when I had it, it was a refresher. Like, oh, I forgot this
This
is
is
good.
good.
Yeah. So very proud that this comes from Chattanooga Whiskey, right? Our homegrown distillery here. Very flavorful. Again, I'm not that guy that's going to be able to give you a Kentucky chew and then spit out what I taste in it. I get a few notes, but nothing that I'm going to describe and say is specific about it.
I think
Overall, very good.
I think something we agreed on a year ago when we were having this was, at the time this was a $50 bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and that this is one of the few things that Chattanooga Whiskey has put out that we felt was more than worth the price tag.
Absolutely. Not to
So
say that Chattanooga whiskey stuff isn't worth the price that they put on it, but this one was
price low, kind
like,
of,
yeah,
right?
like it was much better than the price point.
Yeah.
So
So that's
that was very nice,
a
right?
compliment, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. I
Got a
agree.
really nice nose to it. It's not overly anything, like a lot of stuff that we have, we start pulling out these, marshmallow and caramel,
Yeah,
butterscotch,
yeah.
whatever, but just smells like a really good bourbon.
Yeah, there's nothing
Or
no,
whiskey.
whiskey, right? There's no special finish to it.
Nope.
Because a lot of the things that you'll see that we have is it's finished in something specific, right? Like but this one is it is exactly what it is. It's a blended whiskey. Um, very good. What do you remember the proof on it?
I think it's 100 proof.
Is it 100 proof?
Let's see.
Let's see what we got on the back here. Nope, that's the build. Um, you're correct. 100 proof.
Yeah, and I think this one, the other one is too, the new one. Yeah, it's 100 proof.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so a lot of us went to the event last year,
Mm-hmm.
and that was pretty neat.
Unfortunately, I had to work this year, so I couldn't make this one.
So it was actually harder to go this year. So last year they had 1,000 people, roughly, 1,000 tickets. But this year they wanted a smaller event, so they only sold 200 tickets.
Okay, I like that.
And I thought that might have been why the price tag was a little bit higher. The whiskey itself is a little bit higher, so that would count for some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
inflation,
honestly,
like in this current environment, a little bit of inflation.
I honestly think that the experience itself was really what you were paying for. Like what you were getting for the price. With last year's, it was the bottle and 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Right. Which, was just whatever they were serving. Right. And this year it was the bottle, 1 drink, and 4 tasters.
Yeah. You got a full experience. You got a much more intimate experience.
Yeah. You got a full tasting experience.
Yeah.
Which. So you paid a little bit more, but it was the short-term experience of doing everything that they offered was, I thought, above and beyond from last year.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
it was better.
I'm sorry I missed it.
No,
honestly, like they always, any event I've ever been to at Chattanooga Whiskey has always been very good. I've been to a wedding there. I've been to a couple tastings. I've done the tour. So everything they've ever done has been phenomenal. And I think they just get better with each time that they do one. I think they learn a little bit more, and they make these events especially catered to the people that are coming to purchase their spirits. So
yeah,
like a lot.
And they do those experimentals, which are fun.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever find yourself in Chattanooga, definitely say make a stop. They've got a shop right on Market Street across from the Choo Choo.
Yep.
And there's a bar in there, right, that you can actually get drinks.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, again, most people do the tour and they leave the tour pretty good. So they don't necessarily need a bar. If you do the tour.
Right. But if you don't have the time, to do the tour, and you just want to, you can get some stuff right there. I think they call it the experimental distillery is what they call it. Yeah. But
you can walk in and buy bottles there.
Right. And that's where they house all their experimental stuff. Every now and again, those experimentals get out to the shops. Mm-hmm. I don't think they get very far, though, just because I don't think there's a whole lot of bottles that they make of the experimentals.
No, it's normally a very limited release. Right.
So you kind of have to find yourself, here in Chattanooga to kind of be able to partake.
Yeah. So what do you think about the cigar?
I mean, this is a regular for me, and you're going to hear me say, well, he's said that about the last 4 cigars. That's a regular, and I smoke a lot of cigars, so there's a lot of regulars for me. And, I only have a handful of cigars for me that are regular starters.
Okay.
For, if I'm planning on having a night, smoking, and that's pretty regular for me.
So, and that's the thing. So,
and this is one of them.
So do you try to take part in the starting at a lighter cigar, working up to a heavier cigar?
Most
for me,
definitely.
I I jump right in most of the time.
Most of the time, if I'm planning on having 3 or 4 in one night, I I start with something lighter,
Okay.
and it's this or Damaso or a Hoya Cabanetta. I might go with a Rosado, like a Firethorn or something lighter,
Okay.
not something that's full flavored, full strength right off the bat,
Why not? Why don't you
because I
like
don't want
full
to kill
strength?
my palate.
Okay.
Like I've had, we've talked about me going to these events, right? The
Hmm.
cigar events, right? And like, I think my record is like 8 cigars in one day.
That's crazy. That's nuts. I don't think I've ever been there. I think when we went to the barn smoker, I think I might have got to.
You got 6, right?
I think I got to 5.
The whole day.
Yeah, I think I got to 5.
And what did you start with? Wasn't it like a God of Fire or
Yeah, I
something?
started with a God of Fire.
You're crazy, man.
Yeah, but I told you I jumped right in. Like
You jumped right in.
Jump
I
in
love
there.
I love it that you were at a Drew Estate event not smoking a Drew Estate cigar.
Like that. I don't normally wake up and smoke a cigar.
Yeah, because it was 9 in the morning.
It was 9 in the morning, so
Smoking a God of Fire.
So that was my first time like
Carlito.
waking up, like saying, "Okay, we're going out here to this event, and I'm gonna smoke immediately." So I was like, "Well, if I'm gonna do it, like, I might as well do it really, really well." And I hadn't broken open all of the stuff that they had given to me yet.
Yeah.
So I had pulled something out of my humidor that was readily available because I hadn't gone through everything they had given me. So
I want to say I started with an Underground Shade while we were waiting in line, right? Which I didn't mention that one, but that's another really good starter. Like, and we talk about progressing. That's kind of what you were alluding to. But honestly, like, I'll start with a Shade and I'll just bypass the sun grown, the Maduro, and go straight to the UC10. After I have that first one that kind of just initiates the palate.
Yeah. Okay.
Then it's just have fun with it. But the first one, yeah. I think actually I had the Shade, and then I had a Tabak.
Because they were
handing out.
They were doing the Tabaks. They were giving coffee. So yeah. But I smoked my God of Fire for like I think 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that, crazy. Because of course we were like walking around doing different stuff, and of course the God of Fire is one of those cigars that they'll burn as long as you'll let it burn, right? Without moving very far. So enjoyed that. But for me, I don't necessarily start at the beginning of the spectrum and move further down. I just kind of go for it.
Yeah, you just kind of go for what you're feeling for at that time, right? Because I mean, you enjoy the Damaso, but it's not necessarily one of those things that you smoke in preparation for a day of smoking.
So for me, I can pick up a Damaso after I smoke a full body cigar and still enjoy it.
Right. So I think that we've touched on this before, right? That's the beauty of the Damaso and a lot of these lighter strength cigars is they're full of flavor.
Yes.
Right? Full of flavor. And so like you don't always have to smoke that that full flavored, full bodied cigar, full of nicotine, full of just everything, everything, right?
Agreed.
And so I think of the Monte Cristo number 2, Cuban. Like
that is definitely one of
just wow.
So I'll say an aged Monte Cristo number 2 is definitely one of my favorites. I have had some that haven't been aged as much, and it wasn't as enjoyable. Not saying it wasn't enjoyable, but wasn't as enjoyable. But yes, that is one. I
mean, it's just really enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's full of flavor.
So, great construction, right? And look, it's got a very nice ash on it, held together really well. It's burning pretty evenly. Great smoke production. You can see the whisk of smoke coming off of it without me, actually pulling on it. So, I mean, just a phenomenal cigar all around. Very, very well made. Like I said, a very beautiful cigar to look at as well. That band is special, but very enjoyable. Great pick for the starting cigar today.
And I love your whiskey idea.
I know we've been keeping with our theme, but
Yeah. So normally we have something that is readily available and then meets our our little criteria, and probably the next episode we'll do that again.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely, absolutely.
But we won't do that on every episode.
I want to just step out the comfort zone sometimes, right? And try some different things, do some different things, right? And it's not often that we have 2 bottles like this, right?
That we can put together. Yeah.
So
and to be honest, I mean, there's not a whole lot of bottles out there that meet our little criteria that we've got. Like
No.
those have become really hard to find.
Yeah, man.
Like
like
I just had one on Saturday for the first time, and I'm gonna go get a bottle of it, and we'll showcase that here on the podcast. But those are just really hard to find.
I agree.
Like I'm finding bottles left and right that meet the proof and meet the price,
Okay, but not the age.
but not the age.
Or it'll meet two of the three regardless, right? But
Yes.
not the third.
Right, because there's plenty that meet the age and the price, but not the proof.
Right.
Yeah, we're finding plenty of those. So we might need to make some exceptions.
Maybe.
And be
if
like,
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
If it's good stuff.
Yeah, we might have to be like, okay, this one doesn't meet this one criteria, but it's worth your time.
Yes.
Worth your time.
Because there are a lot of things out there that are lower proof that are very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I feel like as the proof gets higher, the flavor jumps out a little bit more on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily want anything that's like, as I like to say, hot, right? Like, you take that first sip and you're like, oh man, wait, that's hot. That it goes down. And
so I think we're average cigar and spirits drinkers, but a theme or that you'll see with us is we like flavor.
Yes.
Like it's flavor all around.
Absolutely.
So like I've got that bottle of it's 141 proof, and so it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
And so, I'm probably gonna have that one for a little while, but we're about halfway through. So
we need to move on to the next
I'm gonna go ahead and finish this last little sip here, and I'm gonna move on to the 11 year.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you actually beat me to the next bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I beat you on the last one that, we had fun with, and, I said a funny word. Huh? Yeah, because you told me I had a big gulp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you tried to call me out on it, and I said some word, and,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I forgot. Give 1996 back their word.
You didn't go that far back last time. I think you went to like 06.
2006, maybe?
Yeah.
Crunk?
Yeah.
Crunk was about 2006, I think. 2002, 2006, somewhere in there. I was still in high school.
No.
Yeah, man, I graduated in 02.
So you weren't in high school in 06?
No, but I'm saying, like, I think we were using Crunk in high school.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. I'm getting old. I can't remember.
I thought you was trying to say you were still in high school in 06.
Man.
I'm like, what? No, you weren't.
No, not at all.
All right. So the 11 year, and I have a few pictures from the event that I want to try to put on the show. But it's a blend of three different things. One is their MGP that they call the 1816, and it's at least a 4-year. I don't remember the proof right off the top of my head, but I think it's on the picture that you should have seen on the screen.
Okay.
So that one's 25%. The next one is their standard 91 proof offering. That one is 50% of the bottle.
Okay, so we're at 75%.
And then the last 25 is what they're calling their infinity barrel,
which you cannot buy.
But we were able to try it,
Yeah,
and oh my goodness, I was lucky enough to have my wife with me that does not drink, and so I was able to get 2 pours of everything, and
you were feeling pretty good when you
I was feeling pretty good, yeah. But it was one of those where I was like, the lady that was pouring it, I was like, hey, can you just turn around for just like 2 seconds and I'm gonna do a little Indiana Jones swap-a-roo kind of thing,
Try to get into that infinity
barrel. Man, it was so good. So it is the little ticket thing I'm looking here. It says the barrel or the vat that they were using is 1,645 gallons, and everything they put in there was at least 3 year. And it was 15 different mash builds that they put in there.
That's impressive.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
And the limiting factor, even though you think it might be the infinity barrel, it was actually the MGP stuff.
Okay.
So they drained the MGP barrel to make this bottle.
Okay.
So let's get into this.
All right, so I'm gonna rinse my glass here.
Oh, good idea. Yes. The flavor on this one is significantly different.
I agree. So yes, we have tried both of these prior to the podcast, but we enjoyed them so much that we decided that we should put them on the podcast,
Yep.
so that you guys can see them as well, and potentially go out and again, you can't get the 10, but potentially go out and get the 11 here. So
I have seen the 10 out in the wild, but it's an outrageous price. So it's one of those like crazy secondary pricing type things. But the 11-year is out right now. Actually, Rupin's got it red hot. So shout out to Rupin. He's got a limited supply. I think he got his on like Friday or something like that.
got to get over there to see my guy Rupin. I haven't seen him in a little bit. Might have went a little bit lighter on this pour.
Nothing wrong with that.
So immediately,
it's a different aroma.
The nose,
it's better.
Completely different.
Yeah, like you can get some uniqueness there. You're not just getting the normal bourbon aromas. What are you getting? Anything? I know that's not us, but
no, man, like so nothing particularly jumps out. It's just the overall aroma is just like
stronger.
It's stronger, in terms of like, and not. I don't want y'all to think it's stronger in an ethanol sense, right? Like you don't. It's not an overwhelming amount of like alcohol burning out the hairs in your nose, but just overall a much more pleasant aroma when it comes to the two different bottles. Let's see if I get anything from actually tasting.
Tasting them back to back.
I get a sweetness from this one that I definitely didn't get from the 10-year.
Okay.
Which is, again, I don't know how to describe how much better the 11-year. Like, and that's
it's I'm telling you, it's the Infinity bottle.
You think that's what it is?
I think that's what it is. Like the Infinity barrel it's so good. Like I regret that like they're not putting that out on the market.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, I was looking them up the other day, and Chattanooga Whiskey's doing a like a dinner, with special chefs and whatever, and part of the ticket is they're going to pull some things out of the vault. And you're going to get some tastings of things out of the vault.
Okay.
No idea what that is, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something that would be well worth the money.
Might include that Infinity barrel.
I might have to check that out. Do you know when that event's coming up?
It's soon. It's this month.
Oh, it's this month.
I think it's this month.
Okay.
It's not cheap. It's like $200.
Oh, okay.
But you get like a 4-course dinner.
Okay.
And you get I don't know how many pours you get. They didn't say anything about that, and it's very limited. I think it's like 30 tickets. So it's wow. It's a very small event.
Oh, so it may already be sold out.
They might be. Yeah.
Okay. May have to make some calls. Did you get anything specific from the nose or the taste?
I didn't get anything like specific. I'm with you. There's more in the nose, and like you said, not more ethanol, more aroma notes.
Yeah. Again, I'll say this is much more viscous, right?
Yeah. It's just more flavorful
all the way around.
Yeah.
It's just more enjoyable than the 10-year.
So are you gonna try to snag you a bottle or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just been unbelievably busy, and have not made it out to, like I said, see my guy over at Red Hot to pick up a bottle. So
you have to send him a message and have him hold you back one.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Definitely get that taken care of. But it's very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I think I want to say it's a $60 bottle.
I think it was like $57, something like that, plus tax.
Yeah. But definitely worth your time. This is one of those, like, yearly kind of rare releases that,
Yes.
you know, available for a limited time, and really worth your time.
Yeah. And Chattanooga Whiskey actually does a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I do enjoy. Like they have a lot of stuff that comes out that's limited release,
Mm-hmm.
and but the limited release stuff is always like phenomenal. Like because they just recently did a gin
Yeah,
that
they
was
did.
that was very good.
Yeah.
And I'm not a gin guy, but
Right.
I enjoy that one.
Now, I mean, I'm not a huge gin guy, but there are some sipping gins that are just, they're really good. And so we'll end up showcasing the Chattanooga Whiskey Gin.
Yeah.
We need to do that soon, because if anybody wants to get it, they'll need to go and visit.
Yeah, they'll need to grab it pretty soon.
But we've got a few other gins that we'll showcase, and we've got some other things in the works, right?
Things coming out a lot. I think we're gonna do a wine tasting, right?
We're gonna do a wine episode. So even though like the podcast is called High Proof Ashes, and we're gonna focus on bourbons and whiskeys. We're gonna do a wine episode, and we're gonna do a beer episode.
Yeah, we're gonna do a beer episode.
Yeah, we're gonna do a beer episode, and we actually plan to do that on location.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. So we're gonna do that at a local watering hole. I don't know what else to call it.
Are they a brewery?
No,
they're not a brewery, right?
No, he doesn't make his own stuff.
So just I guess it's a beer shop. Like he's got a bunch of different beers over there.
But it's all craft.
It's all craft beer.
Everything he has is craft beer. So we're gonna go in there, and I think we're gonna film a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
At our little local beer watering hole place.
Yeah, man, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun with it.
Well,
maybe even having a guest. So that's something we're working on. Trying to get a guest in here. But
so we haven't said it yet. If you're watching the podcast, we greatly appreciate it. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so that you know when we post new episodes. Again, we're still in the early stages. Like we said, this is just episode 4, and we are working diligently to give you more content. So leave us a comment. Tell us what you want to see, right? Let us know the type of things you want to hear us talk about, right?
Yeah.
Any bourbons you'd like us to try,
yes,
or whiskeys, or any spirit that you'd like to see us try. Definitely any cigars you want us to try, right?
Like, we're big cigar guys.
Yeah, we're definitely big cigar guys. So, of course, Jason has taken me down this rabbit hole of cigars I've never tried, since I am so particular about the cigars I smoke. So if there's something out there.
So I hate to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
But the last 2, so if you've been following the podcast, the last 2 cigars that he has tried, first time he's tried them, he's now got some.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's now got some.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things of, you got somebody that can help you expand your horizons. It can be really fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, you're I would say in our group, you're probably one of our 2 cigar connoisseurs, right? Like you're the more overall, I would say. Crowder is specifically Fuente.
I was going to say, yeah, Crowder's Fuente, and me, everything else.
Yeah, right. So Crowder is specifically a Fuente guy, but you are our most well-rounded cigar guy, I would say.
So I would put Crowder in the ultra boutique.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Because he recently got us on to this other one that we haven't tried yet.
Mm-hmm.
We've got it, but
I smoked mine already. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. You talking about the Lancero?
No, the Tenderloin.
Oh no! I haven't smoked that yet.
What Lancero are you talking about?
So he gave us this boutique.
Oh yes, the one that looked like a Cohiba.
It looked like a Cohiba,
but it wasn't.
Right.
It was good.
It was very good.
It was very good. Yeah.
I was surprised at how good it was.
So hopefully we'll have a couple Lanceros on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've been going down that Lancero journey.
You really have. For me,
it's weird, right?
When we talk about the Lancero thing, for some reason, I just feel like I'm always fighting with Lanceros.
It's a different experience. You can't smoke it the same way you're smoking this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 5x50. I don't know exactly what it is, but how you smoke a Toro, a Torpedo, a Robusto, even a Corona.
Yeah.
You can't smoke a Lancero that way, or even a Gordo.
Yeah.
Right. So we live kind of in the middle of the cigar by Tola World, right? But you've got this extreme of Lancero and super big ring gauge, right? That we don't really
like the lunatics.
I can't do them.
We've got
Those big ring gauges.
we've
you know,
got a
the
friend in our
60,
group that
60
loves
plus
the
ring
60
gauge.
plus ring gauge, man, and it's a workhorse, man. Like you got to be ready for that thing.
I can't do them. I don't know. Like I know that there's a lot of people who love them, and I've got a couple of 60s and like 58s that I enjoy, but for the most part, I'm like around the 50s ish.
Yeah.
You know, plus or minus.
Yeah. 5x50, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're pretty close to the end of the episode here. Any final thoughts?
I mean, if you can't tell, like look at the smoke production.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Pretty nice.
Like it's great. You know, so don't let the wrapper fool you on a cigar.
Yeah.
It means very little, you know. So when you go into your shop and you see something that might kind of turn you away, ask your tobacconist about the cigar. What's the profile? You know, what's in the rest of the cigar?
Yeah.
How much flavor am I going to get? How much strength am I going to get? You know, hopefully your local tobacconist can really help you. We rely on them a lot.
Agreed.
You know, to tell us about what's in our local shop. And I think it's interesting that this is the first thing you bought from our local shop.
Yep.
And that you liked it, you know, and that you wanted to smoke it again.
Well, so I believe the reason I bought it was I was a little bit short on time, shorter than I normally would be, and wanted to do something that one was a little bit lighter, right? Because I didn't want to go to my next meeting lightheaded.
Sure.
So this was recommended, tried it, enjoyed it, and then the very next time I was like, okay, that was good, but what else we got along that line? And then we bumped up to the Damaso.
And what's the price point on this, retail wise?
I want to think it's around $11, something like that.
Is it?
Okay. I don't think it's very expensive.
Okay, so yeah,
right around 11, $12, somewhere in there.
You know, not super expensive, and just really flavorful. I mean, I can't say enough about it. Like, if you're looking for a lot of flavor but not a lot of strength,
this is it.
This is it.
And again, I don't think you know, you have to break the bank to find a good cigar. Right?
We've talked about that, right?
So
that you don't have to go crazy expensive to find
price
a really...
does not dictate how great a cigar is going to be.
That's right.
So I've had some $5 cigars that I enjoy, like the Conquistador from Fuente.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's a $5-6 stick in most places. It's
or
nothing special.
Head.
Yeah, the curly head. Nothing special, but
$3
good cigars
like
for
$4.
Yeah, you know, for the price point. So this one falls in there for a mid-range cigar. You know, $10 to $11. If you find it at a really good price, you might be able to scoop it up for $9.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, phenomenal cigar. Great drink. You know, the 10-year and the 11-year.
Yep.
Please go visit Chattanooga Whiskey. They are local to us. Great brand, doing great things in the area. Anything else?
I mean, do their tour.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they've got a really great tour.
Yes.
Yeah, they've got a really great tour. But I mean, I think that's it. Let's wrap it up.
Well, I'm Duran, my co-host.
Jason, JB Smoke, and one of these days we'll get Duran a nickname. But we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for being here with us, guys.